In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, all praise and thanks are due to Allah, and peace and blessings be upon His Messenger. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Marriage in Islam is null and void under these conditions. Number 1. Marriage of a Muslim woman with a non-Muslim man of any faith is not permissible in Islam. Such a marriage, if takes place, has no religious status. Likewise, a Muslim man cannot marry a non-Muslim who does not follow any of the revealed scriptures or an agnostic. Number 2. A Muslim cannot marry a man or woman who, through coming from a Muslim background, does not recognize the fundamental beliefs or tenets of Islam, or if he or she legalizes that which has been considered as haram in Islam. Number 3. A marriage is also rendered invalid if one of the spouses after marriage renounces Islam. Number 4. Since consent is a condition for the validity of marriage, where there is no consent, the marriage is considered null and void. Number 5. Marriage without parents' consent can be a cause for the annulment of marriage unless father's objection is simply based on other than the valid considerations. That would be the case if they object to a marriage based on race, ethnicity, family status, wealth, etc. Number 6. Marriage of a person with impediments to marriage, as it would be the case of marrying close blood relations who are considered maharam or milk relation, as stated in the verse Quran 4, verse 23. Number 7. Marriage with the intention of divorce or for the other than the valid purpose of marriage, such as marrying for acquiring legal papers, etc. Number 8. Temporary marriage, which is known as muta, or conditional marriage. Any condition agreed between parties is not valid. Number 9. Marriage of a woman during her iddah, means waiting period following a divorce or death of her husband. Number 10. Asking a man to divorce his wife or vice versa in order to marry him or her. Number 11. If they place conditions in marriage which are contrary with the fundamental objectives of marriage, such as insisting on no consummation or planning not to have children. Since marriage is a sacred contract between man and woman, there is no room in Islam for the so-called same-sex marriage. Number 13. A secret marriage is not considered as valid. There is no room in Islam for forced marriages, since the consent of both parties is an essential condition. Since parents' consent is a general condition according to the majority of scholars, the marriage is deemed as invalid if there was no parental consent. However, if the parents' objections are based on other than the criteria acceptable in Islam, as mentioned above, the marriage can be deemed as valid. It is very disturbing to see some Muslims knowingly or unknowingly living as husband and wife, even though their marriage is annulled by the rules of Sharia. I request you that if you know someone in this situation, or if you are in this situation, it is your duty to inform them and contact the closest Islamic center or mosque to rectify this situation. Lastly, I ask parents and young adults to fear Allah and keep in mind the above conditions before getting married. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.